Peace. May the living spirit that is within all things come forward. Bring the light of your higher self to shine and to align with the new light pouring in from the source of creation, pouring into every heart and mind open to receive and transmit and interpret this light in the beauty way, uniquely, each one coming forward to co-create a new reality here upon the earth. We welcome all the guides and the helpers working from the inner plane through you, each and every one, assisting you at this time. For indeed, at the time of the greatest light, we notice, do we not, the presence of a greatest dark. And that is the nature of the third dimension, wherein many, many spirits are coming forward to assist you. This very, very initiatory journey you have all taken on the physical plane at this time. A journey that deeply tests your spirituality, that calls out your deep knowing and understanding for you to manifest your faith in the divine presence that is within you. Indeed, your faith and your power to find that divine presence within you in which to have the faith. For deep faith is necessary at this time as you walk with this new light. For this new light shows up many things around you that are very uncomfortable and become indeed often more uncomfortable as you walk with this new light. Many of you, of course, have done so much inner work. Well, you're not uncomfortable. You're just maybe a little bit, oh, when's it gonna end? Maybe you're a bit exhausted. Maybe you're a bit, worn out with this deep inner work that you've been doing for some time to prepare for now to be the vessel of light that you are. So wherever you are upon the journey, this is a testing time as you journey with the new light that you yourselves helped to raise and that broke through, and that you will have been hearing about from many different sources, whether those sources are spiritual, or more about emotional intelligence, more about observation of human behavior and some really quite erratic behavior coming about as a result of a kind of splitting, you could say, between those entirely guided by the light and those who are not so sure and are struggling in a certain way with actually an intense degree of dark and negative energy. And sometimes you feel, I'm sure you're holding your hand out, but that person is getting further and further away as they seem to be being pulled almost away from the light. And it matters to notice these things. Maybe if you have a little journal and you could notice, well, I'm feeling so fantastic. I'm feeling absolutely wonderful. Why is everyone else in such a state of negativity? Can't they feel the light? Can't they feel this incredible energy that has burst through into the earth realm? And the answer is no, they can't. A lot of beings really can't. In fact, they look at you and think, I think you're a bit crazy. What light? Can't you see the dark? And you can say, well, yeah, I can see the dark. I mean, it's always been there. There it is. So, and they say, yeah, but it's kind of got me. I'm in it. And you say, well, would you like a hand out? Well, they don't understand what that means. So if you're feeling that light within you and you're really feeling quite buoyant, deeply strong and held and safe, that's because of all the work you've done that has brought you to the place which I call, in that sense, the joy beyond reason, the happiness that is of the soul, not created by earthly things, but by the state of your soul connected to the divine source. And that, of course, is what you want more and more. especially at this time when, despite the fact that we have raised, along with thousands of people upon the earth and many millions of spirits in the spirit world, this incredible light, this Christ light presence, you have to realize that what that does is throw all the darkness into enormous relief, but not that kind of relief that makes you feel better, the relief that makes it very obviously very dark and very difficult and very dangerous and very scary. You will see that many people are in an extremity of fear. And it's, sometimes there are so many of them in an extremity of fear. You wonder if you got the right message. Should I be there's hundreds, there's thousands, there's millions of them. Should I be in terror? No, beloved, no, not at all. Fear is a phenomenon which really is a voice of the soul saying, uh-oh, you lost your divine connection. Ooh, that fear there, that's a voice of your soul saying, get back online, get back on stream, get back on the path. But people don't realize that. They go scurrying off down where fear leads them. They get to such a dark place, they forgot the light altogether. And they're not even calling for help anymore. They're just going around in circles or just slipping and sliding down that slope. And it's really important to understand the little triggers where you could be taken out of your divine journey and go slipping and sliding down. Just like in your world, you have cliff edges, you have mountains, and you have canyons. You have to know your path. That is your safe path where you journey with the light, this new light. If you have been part of all the work that has been done by the light workers over this, especially this last year in your world, but really the last 20, 30, 50 years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You will have trained yourself to not be oblivious to the darkness, the fear, and all the negativity, but to be unattached to it and unattachable to it. In that way, you do understand and have deep compassion, and you are accessible. You are present for your brothers and sisters to say, help. Can you just give us a hand out of the quagmire? But you don't get pulled in because you are sturdy on your feet and you are on that, in that sense, solid ground of love divine. So whatever that means to you, and maybe there will be some questions you'll want to ask me about getting to that permanent state of love, permanent state of divine connection, permanent orientation that you are a vessel, a channel of light, that the divine source is working through you now and always. There's never a moment when the divine just goes off for a cup of tea and leaves you wondering, you're not coming? No, that doesn't happen. It's permanent, it's total, it's eternal, it's infinite, it's complete presence always. But are you present? Are you journeying with the new light? Does it get a little tiring? Do you slip off for your cup of tea or coffee and forget that you are the love, that you are the light, that the whole of the universe is backing you with the love, the divine cosmos, and that all the flotsam and jetsam of the negativity and all the lost souls and all the beings are actually depending on this vast divine cosmos, depending on you to be present and part of that dynamic, because you never know when a brother or sister is going to put their head above the quagmire and say, help, can you help me out? I need a hand. Can you help me out? Because as soon as that happens, you can be there like a shot. You can be there and you can help them if they want to come forward and be in alignment with the love. And beloved ones, it's going to be happening everywhere. You are so needed in your alignment with divine love, in your alignment with the new light. And once you've raised that new light, you are on that journey. And don't get me wrong, if you have days off, you know, you have your days of, oh my goodness, where's my money going to come from? Where's my, oh, I've lost, oh, and those kinds of days, just remember, they will happen as you adjust, as you bring all your life on board with your faith, with your loving presence, with your understanding that you will be well protected by this new light if you are inside it. But you have to be inside it. You have to bring it in every day. You have to practice embodying the new light. And that means special, different, unique things to each human being. But the generic sameness, the generic at one-ment is very important. So what you do, what you think, what you feel is going to be very unique. It will have some themes that you all understand and all convene around as well. However, overall, you are part of one great transmission from the divine source, one great arrival of the new consciousness. And you are together growing that consciousness amongst yourselves, strengthening each other, reflecting strength and encouragement and positivity to each other. And of course, welcoming new people, if you like, aboard the Noah's Ark of survival through the last part of this global attempt to take a lot of energy out of the human race, to literally steal the energy from many of your human brothers and sisters, and perhaps even from you up to now. And so this time, right now, in this portal, you're still in, well, you just come through the portal, you're just coming through now into the new time. Now, understand that when I say that, I don't mean it's plain sailing. No, there are still big rocks you have to avoid as you sail through these narrow straits. You're not in the open place of the new creation yet. And some of you may feel still very much, oh, I got to hide this. I got to protect this. My little, this is my little part of the creation. I'm nurturing something new as my gift or as something that I'm offering, whatever you are creating. Remember, you are vital. Your understanding is vital amongst your brothers and sisters, but also don't, of course, force it down their throats. But work on your gift. What are you going to give? It doesn't have to be anything very great. It can be, what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be a book or a course or some great creation. But what are you going to give? Your love, basically. Your love. You see, you're journeying with the new light. What is the new light? It's the light of love. It's the cosmic Christ light. What are you creating with your love? A world based on love. What does that mean? Perhaps you would like to, hold a little bit of a prayer meeting or a meditation circle, or perhaps you just would like to ring up a friend and just have a conversation. An inspiring conversation together. Perhaps it's somebody you know who really needs healing or care. There are so many ways, are there not, beloved, that you can shine your light in this world. But the most important is the expression of love, of care, of concern, of compassion, listening skills. Because many people have been cooped up and have been feeling very alone and isolated. So if you can think of a person that could do with a phone call from you today, for example, here's a wonderful act of the new light, bringing love into someone's life. Of course, those are very obvious ways, and probably you are all doing that anyway, and that's wonderful. So the next way, of course, is to build together. And that we will be doing in this coming time. building a community, building together in the mental, spiritual, and emotional world, visions that you want to personally create, and visions of, if you like, the community creation together, perhaps in your area, perhaps all over the world. Listening well, making sure that all your brothers and sisters are being heard. When I say that, I don't want to make it sound overwhelming, but the skills of listening and bringing compassion are very important, because a lot of the healing that's required right now is of the heart and of the mind. So, beloved ones, having said that, I will do a meditation at the end of our time. Perhaps Jerome can leave some time for that at the very end. But I would love to hear if any of you are present and would like to come forward. Any ways in which you are wondering how you can express yourself in this time. Any ways that you feel are different for you, that have changed for you, and how you can bring your expression forward into the world. And any questions you'd like to ask me about it. And if not, I will continue my talk with you, but I would like to stop now in case there are other things you'd like me to talk about. Peace, dear ones. I listen for a moment.
Peace. So if any brothers want to ring me, or any sisters want to ring me, or if you don't want to ring me, that's fine too. You can also write into the chat here. I'm monitoring the chat here. If you have any questions, Sandra Stoddard says, um, "Oh yeah, sorry. My phone number is well, I believe actually everyone on here already has my WhatsApp number, so I'm not going to actually share the number on the video because you already have it. So, Damon or Timmy or Colin, um, or anyone else, if you want to ask a question on air, that'll be totally lovely. And Sandra Stoddard says, please can you advise me about this illness? I believe that Sandra is not very well.
So you're
Um,
talking about the illness we have discussed, beloved. I'm sure you are. And so it's fear. It's a manifestation from within you of great fear that your body has absorbed. And so the expression, the shaking, is good. If you can manage to let your body shake, I'm sure it does at times. And while that body is shaking, to realize I'm not afraid of this, not to be afraid of your body's expression, because it has been suppressed, as we've talked about. I'm sure it's all right for you that I do mention it, because you've asked such a personal question, beloved. Obviously, I have to give you a personal answer. So when your body has had a lot of fear in it for a long time, well, as I explained in a number of my transmissions to you, you see, fear is not a food, fear is a poison. So basically your body's been poisoned. And of course, the vessel, the organ that deals with poison in your body, it's the liver and the kidneys. So they have been stressed. You know yourself, you've had difficulty sleeping. That's because of the degree of tension in the trauma. When the body's traumatized, there's a lot of tension in the place that holds. It's literally holding the trauma like that. That becomes eventually, of course, too much for the body, and it starts to release that tension. And then what happens is, unless you know how to let go of that tension, it shakes a bit, and then the body, being used to suppressing, shuts it down again, another layer. And so gradually it gets pushed deeper and deeper into the body until you start to understand the principles of release. That you have this beautiful body that was not designed to just hold loads of tension fear and trauma in it. It's designed for joy. It's designed for love. And indeed, you're a very loving being, dear one. However, as you've noticed in your life, it's been a struggle. And it started to be more of a struggle when that fear got suppressed and pushed down. And so now you have to understand your body releasing it. Now that is something, however, that you need some support with. And so as you have been working with me, but you need someone there. So hopefully there will be someone, and this is something you can work on, who will be able to be your witness, to be there for you while you do some release work. Because again, you see, that's the nature of the inner child that became suppressed quite early on in you and then progressed to be your adult, your young adult. She got suppressed too. Then in the midlife, you got hurt, physically hurt, traumatized that way. These layers of trauma have built up. And that is really what is represented in the kidney, which is holding a place of swollenness, if you like, a type of tumor that where, if you like, graphically speaking, that pain has built up. So gradually, as you release the pain from your physical body, and that is usually by making some kind of sound, shaking the body, trying to really let go physically. It doesn't sound great to the surrounding company. That's why you don't tend to do it. But if you have someone who actually does deeply and compassionately understand, then you can release the physical substance that fear has become. Trauma is a description really of when a fear has lodged itself as a kind of physical reality in the body. And consciousness is what enables, consciousness being love, being divine presence, enables the body to gradually feel confident enough to let go of what is like a spasm in the emotional body that's represented also in the physical body. You have enough love, dear one, and enough Christ consciousness and light awareness to heal that old fear. It's a process. And you need to engage with that process consciously. Peace, dear one.
Peace. Yeah, Damon, I was just asking if you could rewrite it because there's a hiccup in the middle of the sentence. I can read it as it is. I'll give you a chance to rewrite it, and if you can't, I'll just read it as it is. But Colin says, hi, Chung Bu, thank you for all you do. Question, what does the physical manifestation of kidney stones represent from a spiritual aspect?
Anger, frustration, feeling blocked. So the kidneys, as we were talking about, when you get a kidney stone, it's very painful. What's happened is that over the years, you haven't necessarily explored perhaps certain events that have happened that have caused you pain, that have caused you to feel stuck, blocked, not able to flow fully. So as you know, the kidneys dealing with all that the bladder brings in. The bladder is a very emotional organ. So as the kidney processes, remember, you're all water, you're 80 plus, nearly 90% water. So it's all about the emotion with the human being. It's all about your emotional flow. And if you're able to keep yourself in that benign state of flowing, of expression. You see, music is for that, it's for you to flow. Sound is for that, is to get the energy to come out of the physical into the sound. A child, when they hurt themselves, they scream, and you don't stop them because that's letting all the pain flow out of the body, you see. Because you are all energy, you are all flow, you're all water, you're all expression, you are the divine being flowing into form. But sometimes, well, often in fact, it's a very challenging life, and all these tests come up, and then you fail this, or you think you have, you got judgment about that, and you suppress this, and you don't express that because you're trying to be something else. And you see, being your natural being, this is an entire skill. This is something that takes a lot of focus and understanding within yourself to actually be who you truly are. So all the time in your life, you really are getting to know you. You might say, well, surely I'm here to serve everyone else. Well, the best service you can be for everyone else is to be your true self, because that radiates and helps everybody else be their true self. Because the amount of subterfuge and lying and pretense that is going on is, well, it's universal. It's just everywhere. There are very few. It's a very rare thing to find someone who is being entirely natural, who is being their true self. It is a work. It is a journey. So the kidneys and stones there, you could say that's a crystallization of a pain that your body's trying to get rid of. It's trying to move it out through your gallbladder and out. And those stones will dissolve, and they do need help dissolving, and there are herbs you can take to help them dissolve. So physically there is a process you can go through with alternative therapy and herbs and homeopathic remedies that can help you to physically work with your kidneys. But you can work deeply emotionally with kidney stones when you understand your being and the pain that you have carried emotionally, and you start to bring the light, the divine light in, and you start to focus it yourself for your own attention into your gallbladder, into your kidneys. And you'll find that those stones will gradually melt, but you'll also get some feelings that will come up. And so what's really important is notice what makes you angry, irritated, frustrated, or afraid. Notice little things. You're in a car, you got some road rage, or you're trying to do something fiddly and it really annoys you. Notice and stop for a moment right then. Take a nice big breath. Just feel that feeling a little bit longer, and notice it's quite deep actually. It's only seemingly on the surface, stopping you doing some little thing you're doing but what really matters is that little frustration is showing you a much bigger place of your frustration, something much deeper. You keep looking into your emotions, and you keep dissolving the places that are awkward and angry and afraid. And again, use the shungite, do geromes and process. You work with your body as well as your emotions, understanding your body is your manifest emotion, just as we are saying. Release, open, let go, and bring the divine love in. Peace to you, Wen.
Peace. Damon asks, hi Chungfu, I've been running a secret Qigong and healing group. Have you got any pointers on what else I might be able to offer, please?
Brothers, Damon, do you win? Secret. I love the idea of secret. It can all be secret. Think of how close the words secret and sacred are. And understand that you can always run support groups. Any group you run and you call it a support group, it doesn't even have to be that secret. A support group is, the government and all of the health industry knows that support groups are vital right now. Groups where people are heard, where they get to talk about how they're feeling. Because the isolation has been extreme and difficult for many people. And the problems they're having are in fact to do with feeling cut off, isolated. The state, the governments are not behaving in any way parentally, shall we say. So people's sense of being safe is very compromised at the moment. So creating safe space and really, in that sense, I understand perhaps you also want some financial income, but you see, with a compassionate heart and donation based, you can still bring income in that sense, with love, in the loving way, in the beauty way. And even though maybe it's not a time to ask for a lot for that service, it's a deeply important service to provide. Community sharing groups or support groups, emotional support groups. And so that is the first thing that comes to mind, beloved. Peace.
Peace. We'll take one more question. Um, Deborah says, can you speak more about how this battle between dark and light began?
Oh, beloved, you're going back millions of years. Peace, beloved. You know, there's a great, the Bible actually is quite good on the subject of Lucifer, of the angelic being who, if you like, got given this name in different languages, of course, different names, but the false light carrier, you see, who had a lot of light and was one with the divine being. One. There's no separation. And in truth, you see, that's why I never really teach about this subject. Because the truth is, you see, it's all held within the divine embrace. So we say that this false light carrier split from the divine. But this is, you see, what you see on your earth and all the attempts, if you like, to steal the light, to steal the love, to take, to steal in any way, really. What it is a growth curve. It is an evolutionary path that some choose that takes them, of course, completely away from the light into the darkest possible, imaginable universe. And you can't imagine it, and you don't need to imagine it, because you're never going to take that route. You're never going to go there, and you don't need to go there. What you do need to know, though, is how to seal the door, as you might say. How not to be in any way a conduit for that energy. And that's what I have to teach you and all the beloveds who are working with the divine presence, is to understand, that's right, you can be available to everything through the divine presence, including the darkest dark. However, you will always be protected. You will never be betrayed by the divine, by God, Goddess, never. The only person who can ever betray you is you. And so that is exactly what Lucifer played with and still likes to play with. And there will come a time, so I'm not going to go back through, eons, millennia, because we're not just talking about the earth, beloved, we're talking about the cosmos, other galaxies and civilizations. And always Lucifer will be allowed to play, but never to create a universe. The universe belongs to the divine source. And within that universe, all beings have free will. And you could say that, you see, all of that negative play is used by the light. It's all used by the divine source. The creator beings are always inventing wondrous ways to simply incorporate the darkness, incorporate that which otherwise, well, yes, you could imagine it has great power, but it doesn't. It has no power, you see. It's simply held in the light, and so it can play up to a certain point, and then it dies, because there is no life within. that negative force, no actual life. So until a certain point, it can live off the willingness of those beings who also want to learn from the dark. But after a while, there's nothing left. So they have to move on. And so that energy, it's like a little world that sort of spins around the universe, trying to have a certain amount of life that it steals from wherever it goes. But after a while, it simply dissolves and disappears. So that's a very big cosmic statement. Having said that, we cannot say that it will not recreate itself, because that is the nature of the light, is that it's all allowing and all encompassing and has no fear in it whatsoever, not remotely afraid. So as a human being, what matters for you is, yes, I hear your question, how did it all begin? And how can it just kind of begin again at any time? Well, because you have free will, and because you are an evolving soul who has elected to be part of this great creation in this time and space. But this is not the only part of your being. And so as you evolve through time and space and into timelessness and beyond space in this physical dimension, your soul may ask you to see so many different realities, so many different creations. And you will realize that with every manifestation of the light that comes along, a faint copy that's trying to take some of that light, that tries to exist in counter existence to that light, you'll notice it everywhere, which is why you are listening to Chong Fu, because you are an evolving soul learning to be fearless. Indeed, you are pretty much fearless, beloved. That's wonderful. That's how you learn. Peace, dear one.
Peace. So we've got a bit of a short time, and then we will conclude.
Peace. So we're going to do a meditation now then.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming forward. Those of you, it is always wonderful to share a little time with you. So wherever you are, remember, I love you. We are the love together. We are creating a wonderful community together. Community matters. It matters to know that we are joined together, especially when you are in a physical body on the earth, and when all of this challenge is there for you, making it difficult for you in your physical lives in so many different ways. So coming together, and feeling this light from the solar source, Christ light, breathing it in. And whatever you need in your life right now, whether it's more money, more ideas of how to make money in your present situation, which I know is a very active subject for many of you, how to convert yourself in the present scenario to be of service to your brothers and sisters, to both give and receive. See yourself now as you receive this light. See it coming in, the Christ light from the source, coming in your crown, into your mind. Don't try and think right now. Just feel yourself opening to receive inspiration from the source. New ideas, new actions, new projects. Knowing that where you are walking is towards the creation of new forms of everything: governance, finance, society, ecology, how to eat, how to connect with your brothers and sisters, and feel yourself receiving from the source of creation the inspiration, the support, the love, the energy, the sustenance. Feel as though you are receiving everything you need, and money included, to the full amount that you need it. Breathe in and receive. Be it in your imagination or in your feelings, in your heart, receive. Drink in the light. Put the money in your bank account or in your purse. Receive. Draw in. Resource. Abundance. I have everything I need to survive, to thrive, and to draw towards me great abundance in the beauty way, the greatest of ease. Feel gratitude within yourself. I give thanks for my life. I give thanks for all my friends and colleagues and connections. I open my heart to understand the flow of energy coming in from the source of the new light, and how it may flow through me and bring abundance of all that I need in my life. How it may flow through me and bring abundance to everyone I meet. Opening your heart to the spirit of goodness and compassion, love, camaraderie, friendship, and really knowing the value of your positive mind, heart, the inspiration you can bring to those who are in perhaps doubt or fear or suffering around you. I am the living spirit of love. From the new light pouring in from the Christ source of creation, I fill myself with this love and this light as I journey onwards, supported, protected, nourished by divine love. I give thanks for all the abundance already in my life, abundance of all that I need, and of the human beings with whom I journey at this time. Breathing deep, feeling relaxed throughout your body. And looking ahead to creating in your life that which you are inspired to create from the divine source who communes with you and flows into you from the source of your being every moment of every day. Call in your guides and helpers. Call me in, for I love to journey with you all in this time of the entry of the new light into your physical, emotional, mental world upon the earth. Blessings and peace to you all. Thank you, Jerome.
Peace. Thank you.
Have you finished now?
Yeah, I'm just going to end the live now. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Mm.
We love you all.
Great love to you all.
We'll see you again soon.
Thank you for coming forward to talk to me today, dear ones.
Mm.
Blessings in peace.